You know, it gets tiring seeing people trying to spark controversy where it's not needed, and this is one of those cases with Elon Musk appearing on Joe Rogan. If any are fans of the Joe Rogan experience, you may have seen his recent episode number 1169. Billionaire Elon Musk, his guest, took a hit off a tobacco mixed blunt that Joe offered him. This has led several people and news outlets to share outrage about him doing this, condemning what he did despite them being in a state where it's perfectly legal to partake in marijuana. The Joe Rogan experience is filmed in California, where it's fine to indulge in recreational pot, and anybody that has ever watched Joe Rogan's show would know he smoked doobies with many of his guests. But because it was with Elon Musk, the CEO of Tesla, who took exactly one puff off it, it became a big deal. While Elon Musk is a known important figure, this is simply outrage that's being fabricated for the sake of outrage. It's taking the name of a well-known individual who may be involved in controversial subjects and latching onto anything you can to drag their name through the muck. Very common to see in our society. If you look into articles discussing this, they associate him doing this simple act with other questionable things he's said and done to try and paint him in this bad light. While not being a sycophant of Elon Musk, not going to suck his dick, the man is knowledgeable. He is well educated and knows things in engineering that most do. Now you can think whatever of Elon Musk, but simply going after him for this minutia and having it snowball into a controversy is senseless. You really have to be bored out of your mind if you think we have to give a flying fuck about this guy going and having a smoke with Joe Rogan. Keep in mind, when he did this, it was towards the end of the podcast after 2 hours and 10 minutes out of a 2 hour and 37-minute show, during which Joe Rogan also offered him whiskey, and the two discussed interesting topics such as further developments with AI and colonizing planets, spreading out the human race to become a multi-planet species. Honestly, it's a good episode, but the fact that out of that whole entire show, people are wanting to focus on these few seconds where he takes a slight hit of this blunt, and even then, he doesn't even inhale the smoke, so it's arguable if he even properly smoked it.
So is that a joint? Or is it a cigar?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
It's marijuana
it's
inside
weed.
of tobacco.
Oh, okay. So it's like pot tobacco posh.
You never had that?
Yeah, I think I tried one once.
Come on, man. You want some of that? You probably can't because of stockholders, right?
I mean, it's legal, right?
It's totally legal.
Okay.
How does that work? Do people get upset at you if you do certain things? There's tobacco and marijuana in there. That's all it is. The combination of tobacco and marijuana is wonderful. First turned onto it by Charlie Murphy and then reignited by Dave Chappelle. There you go.
Plus whiskey.
Haha, exactly.
Perfect.
It's not like he got high before the show or he then became high because he took that little puff and now he's suddenly blazed out of his mind, right? That's how that works. During the show, he got text messages from his friends asking him why he did that, clearly showing that they didn't approve of his actions. I understand him being a face of a company comes with an assortment of responsibilities and expectations that he must maintain on a daily basis. I'd imagine it can get stressful for any human to maintain constantly, so him wanting to unwind, sipping on a drink, and having a smoke is perfectly reasonable. In this context, he was offered it, he tried it, decided he didn't like it, didn't care for it, and handed it back, not touching the damn thing for the rest of the show. This is turning a mountain into a molehill because while this guy is talking about ways to expand technology, vehicle safety, and space travel, here on the other end of the spectrum are the more closed-minded morons who are getting huffy over him and cannabis. That was their takeaway from this whole thing. Never mind the medical benefits behind cannabis, being a healthier of a drug than tobacco and alcohol, yet it seems like it's fine when anyone wants to indulge in that stuff. We'll make that legal across the board. But bring in pot, then the line gets drawn in the sand. That's where you stop, acting like it's right up there with cocaine and heroin, needing to keep fueling that war on drugs and the propaganda surrounding it. What frustrates me is this being an excuse for people to spark up, pun kind of intended, the big drug debate that no one cares about other than traditionalists trying to keep it out of arm's reach of the public. It's so obvious a tactic to just whine about this tired issue where most people have lost interest. No one cares when your average citizen does it legally, so why care when it's Elon Musk? It'd be one thing if he was in a state where it was illegal and he filmed himself doing it. Wouldn't be a smart move, no, but notice he asked Joe Rogan beforehand just to give him some clarification.
I mean, it's legal, right?
It's totally legal.
Okay.
Oh, but it's the situation where we need to try and turn the public on this figure in any way we can. Yeah, you go everyone, get to the bottom of that barrel, scrape the shit out of it. This is such an odd way of thinking because this is grasping at straws if I've ever seen it. He has an image, sure, but he didn't tarnish it for simply smoking or drinking for that matter. If you believe that, well then you're kind of acting stuck up. Which is sort of ironic considering a criticism of Elon Musk is him being pompous and egotistical. If you don't like marijuana, then don't engage in it, but let others who want want to partake in it, do so if they want. Instead of just going no because you personally don't like it. Again, that's fine, but...
You know, that's just like, your opinion, man.
Be one thing if he was abusing it here, smoking throughout the entire show, but he didn't. It's like getting mad at someone who went to Nevada and decided to gamble a little while being there. And in this scenario, just tried it, decided they actually didn't care for it, and thought it was a waste of time, only briefly engaging in it. It really shows how stupid and sensitive others are when having to bitch and moan over something like this. If it wasn't pot, they'd go after him for something else. Hell, if he smoked a cigarette or a cigar, I'm sure people would have had a problem still. Elon Musk promotes unhealthy habits by partaking in tobacco products. Elon Musk encourages obesity by indulging in fast food. A few senior executives from Tesla departed ways about a day after the podcast, Dave Morton and Gabby Toldano. Though it due to him smoking is very questionable, I don't believe that had any reason for their leave. Neil deGrasse Tyson came out in defense of Elon Musk, and while I don't really like TMZ, I'm going to be playing a clip from their short video. Mostly because Neil deGrasse Tyson is another person who's several leagues above others intellectually, more than my dumbass could ever hope to be, so I value his input.
I was wondering what your take is on the matter, and is he capable
can they leave
of...
him alone? Let the man get high if he wants to get high.
Oh, yeah?
Let the man, you know, he's got to obey the SEC, no, clearly. But if he doesn't want to obey the SEC, then he's got to have a private company, and then he can do what he wants. But he took his company public, so there's an accountability there to the public trust of what goes on the stock market. So, but other than that, he's the only game in town.
Your team Elon, as far as I'm concerned?
I think so. Count me as Team Elon.
Okay.
And thank you for that. He just signed here. Yeah. So he's the only game in town. Okay. He's the best thing we've had since Thomas Edison. So to just take it lightly and not really embrace what he can do for us as a country.
He's an adult. I don't care if he gets high. I don't care if viewers watching this video are high, and if not, that's fine too. I couldn't care less. It's none of my business in the end. Whatever happened to compromising? Like, we're capable of doing it, and yet there seem to be some that just hate that concept. You get bullheaded people who are just irrational and think they have to control every little thing others say and do. It should be regulated and really treated much like cigarettes and alcohol, even though objectively marijuana is better than those drugs or any other ones for that matter. I'm clearly pro-marijuana, but I really don't want to turn this into a debate because it's pointless. So I'm not trying to say there isn't any negative things whatsoever when it comes to pot. If you have too much of it, sure, you can become lazy, but at that point it's not taken in moderation. But those are just my thoughts on this matter. Wanted to talk about this being a fan of the Joe Rogan Experience and thinking this is pretty unfair to both these guys that this is becoming a controversy. Not one to normally side with the rich and powerful, but in this situation I have to make an exception. Let this man enjoy the common luxuries that most average people do every day. But what's your take on it? Let me know your thoughts down below. Hope you all enjoyed this video. If not, sorry I pissed you off, but thanks for watching nonetheless. As usual, I'll catch you guys later in my next video.